I'm Nathan and welcome to Teach the Table. Today I'm going to teach you how to play Kingdomino. It's a quick little 15-minute game of laying tiles to grow your kingdom. So let's set it up. Kingdomino is a tile laying game where each player is trying to grow their kingdom in order to get points. And the way you do that is by placing these domino-like tiles. Each one has 2 squares on them and they represent different types of terrain. And what you're trying to do is to get similar types of terrain combined to make one larger area. So like this forest here would be 3 squares, and you're going to get points by multiplying how big it is by how many crowns are in that area. So in this case I have a 3 square forest with 2 crowns inside of it, so that would be 3 times 2, 6 points total. If you look at this wheat field here, that would be a wheat field of 2 squares, but since there's no crowns in there, that would not get you any points yet. The game is going to be played until all the tiles are used up, and there's a breakdown on the back of the rule book of how many of each certain type of tile is there. So keep that handy so everyone can see that. Starting out, these tiles are shuffled, and so they're in a random order. They also have numbers on the back, which generally they signify how valuable that tile is. So number 1 would be the least valuable, number 48 would be the most valuable. And sometimes you have to take out some of these that won't be in the game if you're playing in a 3-player game. So it's going to be a different number for the number of players. If you're playing a 2-player game, each player is going to have 2 of these kings, which choose their tiles for them. Otherwise, in a 3-player game or a 4-player game, everyone just has 1 that they get to choose with. Starting out, you're going to choose a number of tiles equal to the number of kings in play. So in a 3-player game, there's just 3 kings. So you choose 3 tiles off the top of your stack. You're going to line those up and do it in sequential order, and you can flip them over so everyone can see what tiles are in play. At the beginning of the game, you're going to choose who gets to go first somewhat randomly. So the green player gets to choose where they want to put theirs to claim that tile, and you're going to keep doing that until everyone has a tile that they've chosen. You want to make sure everyone's on the same page as far as which way this goes from lowest to highest. And the reason for that is because this is also a turn order. So if you got stuck with the lowest tile that's available, you also get to place yours first. So there's a little benefit because you're also going to get to put that on a new tile. So 3 more tiles will come out before anything's really happened in the game. And we're going to order those in sequential order as well and flip them like so. So now, starting with the red or pink player, they're going to take their king off, choose another tile for the next round that they want, and they get to play the tile that they just chose. Tiles have to be placed similar to playing dominoes, so the squares have to line up exactly, but it can be played in any orientation, in any direction, however you like. This little castle spot is considered a wild, so any sort of terrain can be matched up with the castle, although the castle will not score you anything. But in the normal rules of the game, if you play a hex or if you've chosen a hex, you can only play it if you have a terrain type you can match up like so. So you can never play it with a mismatched terrain type like that, but you can always do this if you needed to, because the castle is a wild. As play progresses and more tiles get played out in your kingdom like so, keep in mind that your kingdom has a limit of being only 5 by 5 squares. So it can be in any orientation from where your castle is. You can start out just going in 2 directions from your castle and have that end up being in the corner. But once you've got 5 squares in both directions already set out, you already know the limits of your kingdom and you can't go outside of that. Play is just going to continue like so, where each player is choosing new tiles and placing the older ones from the previous round, and then new tiles will come out and we continue like that. The game is going to end when all the tiles have been used up. If you ever get stuck with a tile that you're not able to play because there's no terrains that match, and in this case this grid is pretty much maxed out, then that tile's just going to get discarded and you won't get to play it. So you might end up with holes left on your board by the end of the game, but hopefully not, so you can maximize your points. At the end of the game, once all of the tiles have been used up, you're going to look at your kingdom and total up your points based on what they call the territories. So each area of the similar type of terrain is a territory. So starting out up here, there's 2 squares of wasteland, so there's no crown, so that's going to be no points. Here there's 2 squares of mines, so 2 times 2 crowns, 4 points. This one's by itself, so it's just 1 times 1, which is 1 point, etc. So you keep going, score all the individual territories, and then total up your points. Whoever has the most is going to be the winner. There are two different tiebreakers in the game if there's a tie on the number of points. The first one is which of the tied players has the largest territory, which is the number of squares inside that territory. So I have a territory of 7 wheat fields here. So whoever has the highest in that tie would break the tie and be the winner. If there's still a tie, it's whoever has the most crowns and they win. If there's still a tie after that, it's just a shared victory. The rules also contain some official variants to the game, which I won't go over here, but if you want to change up the rules of the basic game a little bit, check those out. And that's everything you need to know in order to play Kingdomino. Don't forget to have fun, and I'll see you later.